Hello boys and girls, welcome to another Game Shed video with myself, Jamie. Today I am taking on the mighty F-Zero GX for the Nintendo GameCube. Those of you who haven't played F-Zero GX before, let me just tell you, critics call this possibly the greatest racing game of its generation, along with certifying it the greatest racing game for the Nintendo GameCube, full stop. So you are in for quite a treat. This isn't a cheap game to purchase, it is over £10 still to this day. It came out in 2003, so that's nearly 10 years old, hasn't lost a lot of value at all. So I'm going to crack on with the Novice Cup just to show you what you're in for. There we have 4 machines to choose from at the start. I've just gone with the standard settings, the standard craft, the standard all first choice options for driver, cup, etc, etc. Here's my pilot. At this point you can choose between more acceleration or faster max speed. You can also change the colour of your craft and your pilot's outfit. I've gone with my football team's colour, red. Now I'm taking on Mute City Twist Road here. Usual intro that you get with these racing games, just showing off a bit of the track. And here we go, 3, 2, 1, and press accelerate and off we go. Now, looks phenomenal from the off, you can tell. You'll notice no one shooting each other. Why? Because you can't shoot no one. This isn't one of those Extreme G style races where, or Wipeout, where you have missiles, guns, and along with racing you have to defeat your opponents. This is a pure racing game. Now there are attacks in this game. There's a side swipe and a spinning move, both of which are highly ineffectual because this is an out and out racing game, and it's fast. It's very, very fast. As you can see here, I'm struggling. You've got speed pads on the floor that you could just see there, and after the first lap you also have a turbo enabled. Now your turbo drains your energy a little bit. You can see top right of my screen, there's my energy bar. I've just pressed the turbo and I've dropped. Now if you hit this pad on the floor here, this purple / red pad, it's an energy booster pad. So you can gain your energy by using boosts, hitting the sides, hitting opponents, until you drop off into the sort of orange-red zone, by which point you're in danger. So just bear that in mind. Bear in mind where the recharge pads are before you go caning your energy, otherwise your craft will die, and you don't want a dead craft because you won't be able to carry on. That was the first of, I think it's 5 courses in total. Let's get rocking with course number 2. What more do you need to know about this game other than owning it will possibly bring you great fortune and make you a little bit better than your friends in life, in general, life skills, etc. It won't. That's complete lies. But secretly in the back of your mind you can think to yourself, I am better than you because I own this game and you don't. So there. I can tell you this is the first ever video game collaboration between the 2 gaming powerhouses that are Nintendo and Sega. Who'd have thought that, hey, in the early 90s? You wouldn't have dreamed of these 2 collaborating, and here they are making an absolutely exceptional game. There's my spin attack, by the way, quite ineffectual. If you're a regular to the channel, you'll notice I put up a video a while back for Extreme G3 for the GameCube. It's just not as good. It's fast, it's very fast, and it's a game you're going to have to spend a hell of a lot of time on in order to get anywhere on it. It's just not as enjoyable. It's a pure out and out racer, but it's very hard. It's going to take you weeks to master that game, whereas this, you can master it pretty quick. It's a sort of, you've got to remember your courses, how you can take each corner, because the control mechanism on this game is a little bit more complex. There are 3 styles of turn. There's your regular turn with your control stick. There's what I'd consider the more sort of professional turn, where you hold both shoulder buttons, and it's a more powerful turn, so you can really hug the apex of the turn. Or there's a drift, where you just hold the direction of the turn, shoulder button. So if you're turning left, just tap the left button as you turn, you'll drift into the left hand corner. Or if you're moving into a right hand bend, just hold the R button and you'll slide in there. You won't hug the apex as well, but nonetheless it's better than just not sliding into the turn. What more can I tell you about this, apart from it is the greatest racing game on the GameCube, and it's a collaboration between Sega and Nintendo. That happens to be their first collaboration. Well, there are 30 competitors to challenge per race, so there's plenty of action going on all around you. And there is an arcade bigger brother of this game called F-Zero AX. Why am I telling you this? Quite simply because if you ever see one of these arcades knocking around, which will be a rarity in this day and age, go along, take your Nintendo GameCube memory card with you, because you can unlock special tracks by winning the arcade cups. You can store the data on your memory card, take it home, and you'll have exclusive tracks for your GX version. Now how's that for a scoop? As I said, it'll be very unlikely you will see one of these arcade machines knocking about, but if you do, just run home, grab your memory card. And that about sums up my talking on this game. There isn't a lot to say, apart from it's an out and out racer. You're going to love it. You're going to be disappointed if you want to fire big machine guns and rockets, but if that's what you're after, go grab something else. Go grab Wipeout, go grab an Extreme G game, go grab anything, just don't grab this, because this is just a futuristic racer. I'm going to score this at, it's a brave one, but 9 out of 10, because I love it and I am a racing game fan, and this game brings me joy every single time I play it, and it should bring you joy and all if you purchase it. So look out for a nice cheap copy on eBay or at your local retro game seller. You won't be disappointed. There we go. So I'm going to move on and partake in a feature which we've been doing, well, this will be the second time as it goes, where we talk about what's going on for the Game Shed elsewhere. This week, in the last 7 days actually, we've got an additional 100 Twitter followers, so thank you very much each and every one of you for following us. If you haven't followed us already on Twitter, you can by following @GamesShed, all one word. Tons and tons of info gets slung about on there every single day. Multiple formats, retro gaming, exclusive photos, much nostalgia, and loads of info shared by us from our followers. You know, if you follow us, we will follow you back if you are providing some good video game based banter. there we go. I'd like to talk to you now about some of the people we follow, who we think you should possibly follow too, because there's a whole retro gaming community out there who needs to be introduced to the world. First off, in this video I'd like to draw your attention to somebody who goes by the Twitter address at RetroGamerGirls. Now this lass has surprised us recently, and myself personally, by showing off a little project that she works on in her spare time, which is to make wooden video game character sprites that are absolutely stunning. I suggest you jump on Twitter, follow at RetroGamerGirls, and look back on the timeline to see some of the photos of some of the wooden models she's made. Now, myself, I sent her a picture this morning of a certain double dragon sprite, and I would love to get hold of a copy. It would look phenomenal in the game shed, so I'll keep you lot posted on if there's any movement on that, if she's feeling generous. So again, a massive shout out to you at RetroGamerGirls. Next this week is at ZX Callum, great guy by the name of Callum, who is very knowledgeable about retro gaming, and this week got into a bit of banter about Sonic the Hedgehog, what's, you know, sort of the tough ones to get hold of, what are the worst Sonic the Hedgehogs. He showed off a little picture of some of the Sonic the Hedgehog games in his collection, included Sonic Spinball, Sonic and Knuckles, all the usual suspects, but very knowledgeable chap. So that's at ZX Callum. Another person who was involved and mighty in the initiation of this Sonic banter on Twitter was a guy called at Soul, showing off his top shelf in his little man cave, which was all dedicated to Sonic the Hedgehog at the moment. So that's at Soul, another user who's been instrumental in our just general feeling at homeness on Twitter is at TimPopGamer. Very knowledgeable regarding all things Street Fighter, very knowledgeable at all things retro football video game related. So big shout out to you at TimPopGamer, good lad. Another new user following us this week is at Louise E182. Retro gamer, thinking about doing a YouTube channel, not too sure. It's a lot of effort. Crack on if you want. Also a gooner, so that'll annoy Mark at the game shed, but make me pleasantly happy. Pleasantly happy. Don't hear that every day. Another user I'd love to big up is at Psycho Fox. Now this guy, a pal of mine I work with, probably has one of the best Street Fighter collections in the business. Got a few of the limited edition arcade sticks, got some signed memorabilia, just got all sorts of fascinating stuff. So we're going to try, if he can get around to it, get some photos of his collection and just his general feedback on our blog on all things Street Fighter-y, because this guy is an authority on the whole Street Fighter brand, if you like, although he is self-claimed not very good at Street Fighter, which is bizarre, but very good of him to admit and quite funny. Next shout out goes to at Almost Games, who this week has been helping out Mark from the Game Shed on all things GameCube, because Mark has just started an epic collection of GameCube games, and just been asking around for people's opinions on what's good for the GameCube. And at Almost Games was very, very helpful, so big shout out to you, mate. Last but not least, with the Twitter shout outs this week, is an Australian, goes by the name of @Nintendo_Legion, self-proclaimed Nintendo know-it-all. So if you've got any questions Nintendo related and you want some answers, you want them sharpish, just follow @Nintendo_Legion, fire your questions over to him. I don't know how much he'll thank me for sending over some people to ask him a load of questions. Ask him something random, see if he knows it all. Ask him something like how many Nintendo exclusive games feature a cat. That'll throw him. Those of you who have eagle eyes will have noticed I missed out one of the tracks on this video. That's a time related issue. I just took out what I believe to be the most bland one. So that's it, all done. Game done and dusted. Twitter shouts done and dusted. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we'd be more than happy to have you on board. Here is our address, @GamesShed. You'll find loads of interesting stuff on our timeline. There's all sorts of nonsense and shenanigans. And if you want to check out our blog, where we've got interviews, news, reviews, product related things, here's the address here, thegameshed.com. And that brings us nicely to the very end of our video, so until next time, goodbye.